In today's video, we're taking a look at and recapping Nightcrawler, 2014, the dark thriller starring Jake Gyllenhaal.
Petty thief Lou Bloom drifts through Los Angeles with no steady job, surviving by stealing scrap metal, chain-link fencing, and even manhole covers from rail yards and construction sites. When a security guard catches him red-handed, Lou attacks the man, steals his watch, and leaves him bleeding on the ground. Lou loads his stolen goods into his beat-up Toyota Tercel and drives them to a scrapyard to sell. When he tries to leverage the transaction into a legitimate job offer, the yard foreman immediately refuses, reminding Lou that he is a thief, not an employee. Lou, frustrated but calculating, continues his lonely life of hustling for small gains in a city that seems uninterested in him. One night, Lou stumbles across a fiery car crash on the highway. As he watches from the shadows, freelance cameramen known as stringers race to the scene and film two police officers pulling a woman from the burning wreckage. Lou's curiosity is piqued when he learns from one of them, Joe Loader, that they sell their footage to local television stations for cash.
To Lou, this is more than just a job opportunity. It's a potential entry into the world of power, influence, and recognition he desperately craves. Eager to reinvent himself, Lou steals an expensive racing bicycle the next day and pawns it for a camcorder and a police scanner. He begins prowling the streets of Los Angeles at night, listening to dispatch calls, waiting for an opportunity to record crime and tragedy. His first few attempts are failures, he arrives late, films nothing usable, and is treated as a nuisance by police and paramedics. But eventually Lou captures the bloody aftermath of a carjacking and sells the footage to KWLA6, a struggling local news station. There he meets Nina Romina, the ambitious morning news director. Nina makes it clear what she wants: violent, graphic crime stories, ideally set in wealthy white neighborhoods where the footage will provoke maximum fear and boost ratings. Lou, with his detached view of human suffering, sees this as his path forward. Realizing he cannot do everything alone, Lou hires Rick, a homeless young man who needs money so badly that he accepts a meager wage to ride along and serve as navigator. As Lou's confidence grows, so does his disregard for morality. He begins manipulating crime scenes, dragging victims' bodies for better angles, trespassing into private property, and ignoring police orders to back off. His footage becomes more shocking, and with Nina encouraging him, his status in the newsroom rises. Lou's obsession with Nina deepens as he sees her not just as a business partner but as someone dependent on him. On a dinner date, he coldly tells her that he knows she is under pressure to raise ratings, and threatens to pull his footage if she refuses a sexual relationship with him. Though the film leaves details ambiguous, it is heavily implied that Nina capitulates. From this point forward, she becomes Lou's most devoted defender, pushing his work to the top of the broadcast even as her staff voices ethical concerns. Joe Loader, Lou's rival, continues to undercut him with faster coverage and better connections. When Joe scoops Lou on a major plane crash, Lou retaliates ruthlessly by sabotaging Joe's van, causing a devastating highway accident. As Joe lies bloodied on a stretcher, Lou records him with clinical detachment, prioritizing footage over human empathy. The most defining moment of Lou's career arrives when he films the aftermath of a brutal triple homicide in Granada Hills. He captures not only the bloody victims inside the house but also the killers themselves driving away in a black Cadillac Escalade. Lou withholds footage of the perpetrators, manipulating the story into one of innocent suburban families under siege by random violence, knowing this version will please Nina. Though police grow suspicious of Lou's involvement, Nina eagerly buys the story, defending his footage against accusations of tampering. Detective Frontieri questions Lou, suspecting he is holding back crucial evidence, but Lou hands over heavily edited material, removing anything that might connect him to the killers. He pretends ignorance and calmly denies any wrongdoing, frustrating the detective but leaving her powerless to charge him. Obsessed with pushing the story further, Lou tracks down the gunman's Escalade and surveils them with Rick. He concocts a dangerous plan: wait until the killers move into a public space, then tip off the police and film the inevitable violent confrontation. Rick, unnerved, demands half the reward money in exchange for keeping quiet about Lou's manipulation of evidence. Lou, seeing him as both a liability and a threat, begrudgingly agrees. The killers eventually stop at a restaurant, where Lou calls in an anonymous tip. Police swarm the area, resulting in a chaotic shootout that leaves one officer dead and one suspect wounded. The surviving gunman flees, sparking a violent car chase through Los Angeles streets. Lou and Rick follow recklessly close, capturing every second of the pursuit. When the Escalade crashes in a pile-up, Lou approaches the wreckage, coaxing Rick to film the supposedly dead gunman. But when the gunman suddenly springs back to life and shoots Rick, Lou coldly keeps the camera rolling. He makes no attempt to help his dying assistant. Instead, he leans down and tells Rick he cannot work with someone who tried to extort him, someone who might betray him again. Lou watches, expressionless, as Rick dies, immortalizing the moment on tape. The footage of the chase, shootout, and crash is hailed as a triumph. Nina is exhilarated, describing Lou's work as revolutionary, even as others in the newsroom balk at its graphic content and the troubling questions surrounding it. She buries critical details, such as the fact that the victims in the Granada Hills home were drug dealers hiding cocaine. That truth would complicate the narrative and weaken the station's ratings, so she refuses to air it. Detective Frontieri makes one last attempt to expose Lou's lies, interrogating him about the Escalade and the killings. Lou calmly spins a false narrative, claiming the gunmen were following him,
positioning himself as a lucky bystander rather than a manipulator. The detective sees through his story but has no concrete evidence to prove otherwise. Lou, once again, escapes accountability. In the final scenes, Lou emerges not as a struggling thief but as a successful entrepreneur. He expands his business, hiring a team of interns, delivering a speech about his leadership style. He assures them he will never ask them to do something he would not do himself, a chilling statement, given everything he has already done. Lou Bloom, once a petty criminal, has transformed into a predator with a camera, thriving in a system that rewards spectacle over truth.
Thanks for watching.
If you enjoyed this recap of Nightcrawler and want to see more breakdowns of thrillers like this, don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss a video.
I'll see you in the next one.